Anyone remember when I talked about HLS1, a former Clinchfield SC45-2 that is currently used as a load test locomotive at CSX's Huntington shops? Yeah, that one. Well, I sought to give an update regarding it after what was revealed through Discord servers, Instagram stories, word of mouth, drug addicts in an alleyway, etc, etc. I do want to address an error that I made while making the HLS1 video. I did not know the HLS1 was still in revenue service, because finding pictures of this thing, were very hard given the last recorded photos on, Railroad Pictures Archives date back to 2013. But as of 2022 or 2023, HLS1 was still serving with CSX, still doing the same job as usual. It's just due to the fact that Huntington Shops is pretty fenced off and hardly visible to public property, HLS1 is kind of hard to spot, unless if you have a drone, or you just work for the company. Which ties into what was revealed. Last night on March 29th, 2025, a few images surfaced up on a few Discord servers showcasing HLS1 sporting a new paint scheme. At first it was hard to tell because the thing was just shrouded by trees and bushes, and the next day we got more images about it, through drone pictures and from shop pictures as well, which were taken the same vein as other CSX Heritage units, but we got a more better up-close view of HLS1 in its new paint job, which is pretty much like the Heritage units. The front is sporting the classic CSX colors, the middle part sports the chassis system colors, and then the rear, according to some other pictures that surfaced up, showcase it in the Chesapeake and Ohio blue colors. And my honest thoughts were, well, I was not expecting this, but this is actually kind of cool. Now granted, I know it's going to have the same complaints as every other CSX Heritage unit, but I've just grown to accept that this is how they're going to be doing it and that there's nothing we could really do about it. For those who remember HLS1, it initially started life on the Clinchfield, it fell into the hands of the Seaboard system before falling to the hands of CSX. In other words, realistically speaking, it never wore chassis system nor CNO ever in its life. But I understand why this was done. The Huntington shops were of Chesapeake and Ohio roots, which eventually became into the chassis system and then to CSX. So it makes sense to pay tribute to the, original railroads that owned this locomotive shop, hence why the different three liveries, instead of painting this thing up in the Clinchfield colors. But let's be real, if people just saw this thing in CSX with the Clinchfield black, people would be pissed. But either way, as much as it doesn't really pay tribute to its actual roots, I get the creativity and I understand the notion as to why they're doing this. Nothing more complicated than that. Anyways, I guess that will be it for now. I apologize that this was not a planned out video. This was kind of last minute, to be honest. It's mostly because I've been busy with college and I haven't spent as much time making videos, or if I have, I've just been focusing more on script work. I'm hoping to get stuff out towards the beginning of April, which is also a bit of a busy time, but no promises on that. Nonetheless, I hope this video was rather informative and gives some updates on something from 2 years ago, and I will see y'all later. Take care, folks.